What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over the part 2 to the video that I did previously. You know what it's like to be a YouTuber, quote unquote, with some tips and all that kind of stuff. This is the part 2 to that video of where I'm going to be diving into what it's like to be a female on YouTube, but wait, it gets better while also being a gamer. You know, people already kind of like rolling their eyes. They're like, oh God, is she gonna make this political? Nope, I'm strictly gonna be speaking from my experiences in hopes that it educates others and brings a new light on things, because different perspectives bring different kinds of education into this whole melding pot that we call society. So some of my experience will not be other people's experiences, obviously. So if I mention something on this list of things that I've gone through or experienced that don't align with someone else's, it doesn't make it any less factual. It doesn't make it any less valid, is what I'm trying to say. Because I feel like a lot of the time people try to put females in gaming into a box to an extent, of where like, oh, you've had to have had these common experiences or you haven't gone through it. To a degree, I feel like we've all, like, females have had their own common shared experiences of like dick pics, unwanted, males trying to get into their loins. Like, there's just a lot of common experiences, but there are very unique ones as well. As a female gamer on YouTube, and just as a gamer on YouTube in general, people think that we don't take time for ourselves and that we're just robots who constantly just regurgitate and pump out content. That is not true. That is not something that ever happens. I put my content as secondary to myself. Like yesterday, I didn't post this video yesterday because I was tired. I needed a day to myself and I took it. So always put your mental health before anything. It's what I said in the last video. It's what I'm going to say now. Any female gamer out there, any femme representing person, you put your mental health first, please. That goes for men too, okay? It doesn't matter who is in this space, or you just put your mental health first. Put you first. A lot of times where people will, demand gameplays of me, who will be like, you need to play this on your channel. You need to do this. You need to make sure that you get this done or I'm unsubscribing. Okay, unsubscribe. Do it. I dare you. Baffles me. It really baffles me that people think that it's okay to tell another human being what to do. Also in the fact of like, you really don't think that we don't have our own free will. It's like, yes, I shall comply. It's like Detroit Become Human, seriously. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a shared experience, what I'm going to be discussing next, but it's definitely a scary one. Of where once you get a little bit of success, and I'm only almost at 2,700 subscribers. By no means am I a bigger YouTuber. I'm not even like a moderately decently sized YouTuber. I am small. I am small. So whenever I think about it, I'm like, why is this happening? Like, I'm not like, it baffles my mind why this happens, but it does. When you get any type of success, any type at all, whether it be from 1,000 subscribers to 10,000 to 1 million, more so when you're at 1 million, you get people thinking that you are all about yourself, that you are bitchy, that you are complaining, that you're this, that you're that. Honey, I'm not bitching. I have to protect myself. And that's one thing that didn't really click with me until a certain point, and until I realized it, that so many people will try to get into your circle just because either A, you're a female on YouTube who does gaming, which by itself, I don't understand why we are looked at as such a, like a rare species or an exotic breed. Like, we're not a plant. We're not dying out. We're not some little trinket that you get to keep on your shelf. No, we're not. It's just, I don't understand it. So whenever I see this come across, or I see this happen rather, I get very weirded out very quickly. I've had multiple people just try to be friends with me because they think that being a YouTuber's friend is a prize for some reason. I mean, we're all prizes at the end of the day. It's very strange having someone's main mission to be your friend is because you are a YouTuber, and that's very strange. People keep saying, I'm not like that person. No, oh my God, I would never do you wrong. I would never. I don't believe you. I don't. And that's the sad thing that is really, it irritates me to no end, is that there are a lot of mostly males who think this, and I'm sorry males to diss on your kind right now, but I do have to go into this, of where a lot of guys think that females who game, especially play games like Bloodborne or Dark Souls or any type of Soulsborne game, really, Sekiro especially, they think that we didn't do it on our own. Like, I saw it a lot on Twitter. I saw it a lot, even IRL, whenever I was going to GameStop. And I remember getting Dark Souls 3, I believe, or I think it was 2. Either 2 or 3. I was going in there, I got it. The guy was like, oh, that's so cool. Are you getting it for your boyfriend? I'm like, no, I'm getting it for me. And the guy was like, oh, cool. Okay, so yeah, he's like showing you how to play it and everything like that. I was like, sir, I have no boyfriend and everything. I'm playing this because I am a Soulsborne addict and I love pain. Weren't the exact words that I said to him, but I did tell him that I am a Soulsborne addict and I really love these games a lot. And I've beaten Sekiro and I love those. And we had like a full on conversation. And he was like, oh, it's so just beyond some people to think that women can complete these games and women can do these games. They're difficult games, yeah, but anybody can do them. Like, I don't understand what's the barrier here. Like, why is it so unreal to think that someone, especially a woman, can play and enjoy these games? I don't understand it. I will never understand it. The other thing I want to talk about, and maybe it's just, this might be more of a me thing than it is. I don't know. I haven't really come across any other female who has experienced this at all, but here goes nothing in trying to explain this in the best way I can. The fact that being a YouTuber, especially a female in the gaming industry, and especially from my perspective, being a journalist in the industry, more so freelance than anything, because I don't work for a company. I just work for myself. It gets rather, how do I word this? This is going to be tricky to phrase in a way that I want to get across in the best way possible. You have to put on the bitch face. And when so many men, so many people think that, oh my God, she's such a bitch. Oh my God, she's such a bitch. Well, no shit, Karen. That's because you have to deal with moronic assholes every single day. Either asking you questions about stupid things that they literally could just Google, or they have to diminish what your success is by saying, oh, it's just another journalist. Like, yeah, I get it. Okay, we get a bad name because of really terrible journalists. I'm not going to say names because that would be bad karma, and I don't want to get that bad karma back to me. So many journalists who are bad, and they take their audience for granted, and they use, speaking of metaphor here, they use their pen and they use how they write in order to manipulate people, and I can't stand it. I honestly hope that at some point journalists get more of a nicer light shine on them, or shown on them, I should say, because we're not all bad. You know, I even got comments under my New Vegas retrospect, you know, that it's just like, oh, you know, another journalist and then this and then that. And it's like, I put my thoughts out there because I want people to be educated. I want people to understand games. I love games. I love talking about them. I love being honest with people. And in that quest of honesty and education and trying to have people understand more or less my perspective on certain topics, it comes across as bitchy, which I can't help people's perception of me. That's on them. That's on them entirely. If you think of me as a bitch, that's okay. That's completely on you. That's fine. But the way I represent how I want things to come across, it can be taken every single which way. And that's the thing. People don't understand the difference between constructive criticism and trolling. They lump it together and they see it as just something that goes hand in hand. Constructive criticism or constructive thinking, where I break down a game, I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. There is a huge difference. And I feel like this segment of the video, it's more or less a female journalist thing or a journalist thing, because I feel like if you are not a journalist, you cannot possibly understand what goes on in this field. How many people say, oh, well, you know, journalists, you know. No, I didn't, Bethany. Tell me. Sorry to any potential Bethany's I might have insulted. You're awesome. Don't worry about it. It just baffles my mind. And I know I'm going to reiterate some points and everything like that, so I do apologize. But when really people think that I'm being rude about a game or I'm insulting a game or everything, some people can't differentiate between constructive criticism and being mean. They lump it together and they think of it as the exact same thing, which it's not. Being constructive and being critical about a game that you love is supposed to happen. You are supposed to constructively critique any game that you come in front of it, especially if you are working in this industry. I'm not coming across as a troll. I'm not going to be doing this because I want to be mean or get some laughs or guffaws out of people. I'm doing this because I want to educate people, and I want people to be aware of things that they might not have been aware of before. And I also, hey, I love games. I love talking about them. I love discussing them. You let me in a room with people who will listen, and I will talk their ear off about Resident Evil and every single game that I grew up with and I loved. Because that's just what I want to do, and that's how I want to make my living. But unfortunately, people have an issue with honesty and constructive critique. So nothing I can do about that. And it's rough to be a YouTuber at the same time being a journalist, because putting my articles out there and also putting a video version of the article out there, you get the double whammy who come into your comment section and who are incredibly nice and who are incredibly forthcoming and love that constructive critique, and I can have an actual conversation with them. And oh my god, better yet, even if we don't disagree on something, being able to respect one another's voices and words, that love that. There was another point that I wanted to bring up. I don't think I'm going to bring it up because it is a touchy subject, and I don't know how many people this is necessarily going to reach. I hope it reaches a good amount because I want people to be aware of these different things. I mentioned stalking in my other video. I mentioned, mental health and everything like that in the other video that I did. There's a lot of stuff that I could go into, but I need to better think on how I want to phrase it. That way I'm not just saying anything. I want my words to go out there with a purpose. I don't just want to say something to say it, A weird train of thought, because I just saw something about it today from a YouTuber that I watch, Emolition. If you guys haven't heard of her, go check her out. She's amazing. And she was posting tweets, and this guy was literally complaining about the way that she titled her video. Literally complaining just over a title. And I thought to myself, why is it? This happens more with females than it does with males, but either way, it's wrong on both ends. I feel like a lot of people, when they see a female thriving and succeeding and creating content, just existing, why is it that they feel the need to insert their opinion where it's not warranted over something so minute, so small, that it doesn't impact anybody? It doesn't impact a flea. It does not impact anybody. It doesn't do any damage. It's not, here to hurt anybody. Like, why is it that the loudest people who have an issue with females on YouTube are the ones who will complain about something that there's literally no reason to complain about it? It annoys me whenever people try to come into females' comment section, and they think that I should tell them about this because I am heavily annoyed and I feel like they need to know this. I swear, if that much energy went into our politics and went into Black Lives Matter and went into the homeless crisis and went into, transphobia and fixing that, and fixing our schools and fixing our world, we would be unstoppable. Like, seriously, if so many of these trolls put half of that energy into anything I just mentioned or fixing anything in our world, we would be literally so much better off. Like, the energy that these people put into correcting something that literally has nothing to be corrected, like there's no reason to correct it. Or they just want to hate because they want to hate. Or they feel like they need to tell us how to live, how to, play a certain game. Backseat gaming. Don't even get me started on backseat gaming with females in the gaming industry. It's disgusting. I feel like I'm just ranting at this point about my own qualms and concerns of what I see. I don't know. I think I don't know. I just would love to live in a YouTube universe of where whenever women speak their mind on something or whatever we're throwing constructive critique at something, we're not called a bitch. I would love that. You guys, that is it for today's video. If you all like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell down below. I make videos every day on YouTube. And with that being said, stay casually nerdy, you guys. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.